Hi guys, Manny here with YellowTapeDFS, here to give you my take on NFL Week 3. Before we get started, I just want to go ahead and say I apologize for last week not putting out any content. I had to escape for a wedding, but there will be no more hiccups for the future. That being said, let's start off at quarterback. Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, they're up against each other. It's going to be a shootout, in my opinion. I mean, Vegas feels the same way. I don't mind paying up for quarterback there. Tom Brady against the Jets. We saw what the Browns just did to the Jets. The Jets are pretty bad, pretty close to the Dolphins. Speaking of the Dolphins, Dak Prescott is up against them. Seems like an easy play there. Most of these guys I'm okay with paying up for. Watson, you can have exposure to him against the Chargers. Russell Wilson against the Saints. Seems okay. Garoppolo against Pittsburgh's non-existent defense. Cam Newton, there was injury news that he may not play this game. We're going to have to look out for that. He was in a pretty decent spot, but I would not just eliminate exposure to that guy. Drew Brees is out, so Teddy Bridgewater is going to be the backup for that. I'm not sure how I feel about anybody on New Orleans after that other than maybe Kamara. Josh Allen going against Cincinnati. Seems like he's in a great spot. Just every week so far, it seems like Josh Allen's a decent price, decent play. Going further down the list, Matt Stafford at 5,500 is in a great spot against Philly, who's banged up from every which way you look at them. Jameis Winston against the Giants. Even though the Giants did just announce that Daniel Jones will be starting, both of these teams are terrible on defense. I'd like to see how that would turn out. Maybe my Giants can actually do something. Moving along to running back. Take a look at some of these top studs. Saquon Barkley, Ezekiel Elliott, Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook. Those guys are always in play. They seem almost matchup proof for the most part. If we go a little further down, those guys are ranging from 9,100 down to 7,800. Going on down, I like Marlon Mack against Atlanta at 5,800. Seems like a really good spot. They're not really too good against running backs. It's kind of historic for Atlanta. Is questionable with a growing injury. We have to keep an eye on that. Let's see what else. Who else do I like here on the lower spectrum? That might be it for now as a first take look. We have to get some more information and get back to it. Moving along to wide receivers. Top guy on the list this week is DeAndre Hopkins at 7,800. There is not a wide receiver at 8,000 or better. I couldn't be happier. I feel like I want to pay up on running backs this week anyway. Alongside, we have Amari Cooper against Miami. There's no more Michael Gallup. He's out for 2 to 4 weeks. We have this new guy, Devin Smith, that they acquired, who's doing pretty well. Michael Thomas, I'm probably going to fade that guy. There's no Breeze there to throw in the ball for $7,400. I can't feel confident with that. Julio Jones against the Colts, fine with that. Antonio Brown's in play. Julian Edelman's in play. Juju, that's an interesting one. Mason Rudolph seemed all right, but I don't know if it's the same thing. Chris Godwin's over here at 6,900. The interesting thing is Mike Evans is at 66. That might be something sneaky. Kenny Golladay. I played this guy this past week, and I'm so happy that I did. This guy's always in play against Philly, banged up, like I said earlier. Not a problem. Thielen and Diggs are both in play. Watkins in play. Move on down the list a little bit. John Brown, Josh Gordon, Calvin Ridley, Ross, Fitzgerald. There's just so much value. They're all around 5K, those guys I just rattled off at the end, 5,500 or less. All right, moving to tight end. Obviously, we know that our slate monster is always Kelsey, like 7,000 plus. He's 7,100. Zach Ertz is at 57. George Kittle's at 56. I'm not sure that I'm necessarily wanting to pay up for Ertz, but given their lack of depth in the receiver portion right now from these injuries, he might be a great target. Kittle's against Pittsburgh. Evan Ingram against Tampa. I like Andrews, man. This guy in Baltimore, he's showing up 2 weeks in a row. Might have to keep riding that train, as chalky as it sounds. Don't mind it at all. Going down the list, the Giants, my team, they suffered at tight ends. So O.J. Howard's in a real good spot. He's just been so quiet this year. I don't know what's going on. I can't say not to have exposure to him, but is he going to perform? Is he going to get targeted? Who knows? Greg Olsen, with or without Cam Newton, I think tight ends and running backs are there to help relieve pressure off the quarterback. Greg Olsen's in a great spot against Arizona, who's getting smashed by tight ends. Hawkinson, who was a kind of a dud last week, I think will line him back up to be in a good spot this week. He's going up against Philly. And defenses, there's a few. Like, a lot of people may like Cowboys against Miami, Patriots against the Jets, maybe the Packers against the Broncos, the Niners against Pittsburgh. A few choices to choose from. But until we get our further look, man, this has been our first take, and I will talk to you guys later. Stay tuned.